This video is brought to you by the FarmerKlein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 22 map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Estancia Pindorama MT. But before that, this video is brought to you by Alan McCone and Mighty Mouse 05. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Estancia Pindorama MT map we found over at the FarmingSimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let's read some of the description. This map is based on a region in Cáceres Mato Grosso. Completely butchered that. I 100% know it. With a large agricultural fields being medium to large map where you'll use your rural creativity. This map has 45 fields, 4 areas to create new fields, several forest areas, 3 grain dealers, several factories in the city, limestone mine, a sawmill, cotton and bale sell point, animal and vehicle dealer, and the all-important gas station. Let's go ahead and load on in. We are going to be using the mods. We typically use them when we look at maps. That is additional field info, additional game settings, animal food overview, field lease, field calculator, precision farming, and straw harvest. I will tell you, if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find the main starting farm is empty of a farmhouse and a shed, but the animal pastures that you do have here in new farm mode will remain in all play modes. In addition, you just start out with starting machinery in all play modes as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA itself. We start out down here in our starting farm location. That is going to be starting farmland ID 1. In any alternate game mode, we can buy that for $443,000. We also start out by owning farmland ID 13. That is going to be the BGA, and that can be bought or sold for $0. We do have all the standard crops available to us in FS22, as well as the premium expansion crops of red beets, carrots, and parsnips if we have that DLC activated. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. This is going to show us all of the viable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields, what is included. Then lastly, how much is that farmland going to cost us? We now cross-reference that with the field calculator screen, and this is going to show us the costs of each particular field. Do note field 2 is, well, interesting, 0 hectares in size. It's kind of interesting, but okay. We do have what appears to be the standard crop counter available to us here on this map. And if we take a look down through our prices screen, you will see we do indeed have the ability to sell all of the basic crops that are once again available to us in FS22. In addition, we do have the ability to sell our eggs, wool, and milk, and our silage, hay, straw, and grass. As we continue down through all of our base game production items, once again, we do indeed have the ability to sell all the base game production items. But what you will notice is that we do not have a stone sell point. We have multiple bulk lime buy points, as you can see there. But if we look at our stones, there's no place to get rid of our stones. So if you do play with stones enabled, you will need to put down your own stone processor. With respect to the farm production pack washed vegetables, those are not available for sale unless you put your own sell point down. And with respect to the platinum expansion, well, we do not have the ability to sell any of the platinum expansion production items, which is a little bit disappointing because of the large focus on forestry that we have here on the map. We do have the ability to sell our premium expansion productions and crops. In addition, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, we do have the ability of getting rid of our separated manure. And if you are playing with straw harvest, we do have the ability of getting rid of our hay and straw pellets. Taking a look at our starting fleet, all of the vehicles are owned and none of it is leased. In addition, as I said earlier, you do have this starting fleet in all game modes. We do start out with a chicken coop and a cow pasture, but again, we do not have any animals in those at the start. We do have contracts available on the field, and we do have the BGA at the start as well. This map also does not have any collectibles. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting fleet. We start out with the New Holland T7 315 HD and the Massey Ferguson 3670 medium tractor. We have the New Holland CH 7.70 harvester that is paired up with both an 8-row corn header as well as the Superflex 25-foot grain header. With a Kloss Karat 140 TD trailer, as well as the Echo Mount plow. We have the ES Pro 6000 RC seeder, the Dalbo Power Roll 1230 HD roller. We have the Mega 1200L Hardy sprayer for liquid herbicide and liquid fertilizer. And then we have the Breedall K105 lime and solid manure spreader. This map also does not have any custom vehicles or implements. Now, as far as the starting farm goes, it is pretty basic. We have a farmhouse trailer here with our sleep trigger. We can sell the farmhouse. Over here, we have the chicken coop area. These are open range chickens. We can have 200 chickens in total here. So we have our chicken drop-off point. We have our egg spawn point. We do have some lime that we can collect here as well. Behind some of our starting machinery, we're going to find our chicken feed trough. We have an easy shed. We can sell the easy shed as well. And then over here we have our cow pasture. Cow pasture is going to be good for 250 cows. So we have our drop-off point. We have our milk collection point. We have our food trough and our water trough. I wish we had proper icons here so we knew which was which. And here we have our straw trigger. It would be nice to see visually maybe some straw on the ground here as a little hint as to what that is. And then we have our slurry point down the entry road. And that is the starting farm. Let's go and take a look at our animal food requirements and just see if we have anything custom here. Everything is fairly standard. And let's jump back up here because I do know that we happen to have missed over the precision farming soil map. So this map is making use of the generic soil map that is a part of the precision farming mod. So let's go ahead and see how that is being applied to these fields. As we can see, we've got quite the array of soil types scattered around the fields. To the east, we've got a prominency of loam and silty clay. To north, we've got a little bit more sandy loam mixed in with that. And then down to the southwest, we're going to have a bit more loamy sand as well. Now I want to go ahead and show you in build mode. This map pretty much has all the standard base game vehicles and implements and buildings that are part of FS22 or the DLCs. There really isn't any custom buildings that are included with this particular map. No custom productions. No custom animal areas. And as far as ground textures, fairly standard ground textures. We've got a few custom items here and very basic plants and trees. Let's get a little bit of altitude so we can take a look here at the starting farm location. Now, I did mention a little bit about some lime. We're going to have to go around the chicken area between these trees down here to get to where this lime is heaped up. I do have some pretty good distance scenery on this map. A lot of the map border is going to be trees, but there where we do have some openings in the trees, we do see some pretty good map boundary. Directly south of the main starting farm, across the river, we have 2 of the 4 grain sell points on the map. These are the traditional South American or Brazilian styled sell points. So we have our dump point there. And then across the way, a little different orientation, but we have basically the same overall setup with the dump point inside of here. And then down from that, we have the lime mine. Kind of a prerequisite, feels like, for any South American map. And we're going to make our way winding back and forth until we finally get down here to the lowest level. And if you own this land, you will be able to collect the lime that is deposited down here at no additional cost. Now, this is not set up really as a production facility, just an area where you can pick up bulk lime. Then we're going to make our way kind of to the north along the river. That's where we're going to find our next big production area and areas to talk about. We do have some fields here lining the river. The map is overall fairly flat, but is not completely flat. So I'd say you shouldn't have too much trouble with respect to horsepower and machinery. So we have our carpentry facility here. We have a lime buy point, and then we have our sawmill facility located back here. With respect to productions that are built into the map, we have 12 productions built in. So we have a dairy, we have 2 grape processors, we have 2 tailors, we have a sugar mill, we have 2 oil mills, we have a sawmill, carpentry, spinnery, and biogas plant. So here along the river, we have our town area. This is going to be one of our sugar, or not one of our sugar, one of our grape processing facilities. Right next to that, we have our tailor, one of our 2 tailors, and our spinnery. These are all base FS22 buildings. Then we have our second tailor, just down the road from that. We have our oil processor. We have our sugar mill. We have our dairy. And we have our second grape processing center located here. We have our fuel point. We've got a grocery sell point right here. Here we have a bale sell point, as well as a cotton sell point. And then we have our our vehicle dealer, or our dealership. We're going to go inside to activate our dealer icon. Got a fairly large open area here for our vehicles and implements to spawn in at, so it shouldn't have too much trouble at all with buying a bunch of machinery. Fairly wide open area as well to get out of the dealer. And then at that point, you're going to have to navigate the road here in order to make your way across the rest of the map. Now, as far as our maintenance trigger at the dealer, we have our dealer workshop trigger located right here on the outside. And it is indeed a dealer trigger. Now, with respect to our scoring, as we move over to kind of the final area that we're going to really be taking a look at, with respect to production being built in or areas set aside for such, we are going to indeed be giving the map a full point there. With respect to the ability to sell all of our basic crops, animal outputs, and production items, once again, we are going to be giving the map a full point there as well. With respect to the farms being customizable, we're going to take a quarter point off because we do not have the ability to customize the farm completely, because we are not able to get rid of the cows or the chickens. Those are permanently a part of the map. Over here we have our third grain sell point. Third large grain sell point, including another lime buy point. And then we have a water trigger located down here. Now, with respect to buildings where appropriately are using the new texturing technique, you may have noticed down at the dealership that is a custom building, and sadly, that building is not using the new texturing technique. It is using kind of the old technique. So we are going to be giving the map 3/4 of a point there as well. So here we have our water fill point. Would be nice to see a floating icon there, as well as kind of the misplaced icons at the cow pasture where we had 2 dump icons as opposed to one of those being a water drop, and applying as to which one was the water trigger and which one was the food trigger. Here we have our biogas plant. So we have our activation icon, we have our dump point for our digester, we have our dump point for our slurry. We have another lime buy point, and then we have our output for digestate. You have one large 3-sided silage bunker here at the BGA. And then lastly, what is our total score going to be? Well, we're going to take, as I said, a 1/4 point off with respect to trigger markers and areas being clearly marked. So that's going to give this map a score of 4.25 out of 5. A very, very respectable score. Nonetheless, a pretty easy map, although with the trees, it does run into a little bit of problem with some lower end systems, I feel. So if you are kind of on the border with respect to farm sim recommended system configurations, then you may have a little bit of performance problem on this map. Otherwise, I think it's going to run perfectly fine for you. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below with respect to this particular map. And until next time, happy farming.